So you'll notice building a castle is all about drawing a castle. I'm going to show you a quick version and then I'm going to slow it down for you and I'll do two different ones. All right, when drawing your castle, you are going to want to start by making a base to build your castle. And when you're building this base, you're going to want to start with a rectangular shape, and you can do it large, you can do it wide, you can do it tall. That is your choice. The taller ones are great for towers to put turrets on the top. You can add windows, you can add flags, you can add bricks, you can add details, and you'll just keep adding what you like and what you want to add to your castle to make it more fantastic for you. All right, so when you start building a castle, you're going to want to start with the base. Bases are usually rectangular. They can be long and narrow or tall and lean or thin, kind of for a tower. They're definitely rectangular shapes, so that is really important to start. So I'm going to start in the very center of my page, making a nice size rectangle. And just to the side, I'm going to build a taller tower, but I'm not going to have them level with the bottom. I want them to be off-centered a little so that they show depth. In addition to that, I will connect some of my towers. I will add bricks to the tops of the towers and some detail to show more depth. I will also add taller turrets to the top and even a bridge in the back with some extra details. It's important too that when you're adding your details, you remember that it is all what you like and nothing has to be perfect. So if you make a mistake, great, you have an eraser, or you can turn it into a happy mistake. Remember to add windows. I'm going to add some details to these windows to make them show depth. I'll also add bricks. I'm not going to add bricks to every single section because then it becomes, in my opinion, a little too busy, but you can definitely add as many bricks as you want. I'll add bricks to the top of the building to give it a little bit more of a protected and a little bit more depth as well. And I'm doing it to make it look almost like a cube on the top. Sometimes you can make bricks by drawing a bunch of horizontal lines and adding lines across too that do not coincide, so they're not straight up. It kind of just offsets a little bit. In addition to that, you want to make sure you add lookouts and windows for people so that they're on the inside. You'll notice that I also added a little shadow on the inside of those windows to add depth. Also, it's really good to just continue to add your details. You can add grass, you can add more bricks here, more bricks over there. You don't have to, again, you don't have to cover every space. We need a front entrance, so I'm going to add a shadow on that front door that's made like an upside down U. A little bit of chains for a cross bridge. I'm going to add the wood across the bridge so that we have a way to cross our moat, which I am going to draw soon. I'm going to add some details to my door to make it look sturdy and strong. A little bit of grass, and then I'm going to start to create my moat. My moat is going to look like an upside down rainbow, and it disappears towards the back. In addition to that, I might put some waves in the water and some pebbles to make a pebble path. I might even consider adding some type of creature into my moat. I could add clouds and birds with wings and just any little details that I think might make my castle look more fun and realistic. I'm going to add a crocodile, maybe even a flag. It's all up to you. So in a little bit of a slower mode, we are going to be building a castle, and you're going to start with making your base. Once you do that, then you can get going and adding lots and lots of detail. Your base is going to want to be a rectangular shape again, so I'm going to start in the very center of my page and make a nice rectangular shape, kind of long and lean. After you add that, then you can add taller towers to your drawing. I like to continue to add mine to make my castle really big. So now that I have my main front entryway, I'm going to add a nice tall tower over here on the left side, and I'm not going to line it up on the bottom. I'm going to just make it a little bit set back so that adds depth to my picture. And I'm going to do the same thing probably on the other side. I will step back a little bit. I can make another tower and make it more of a cylindrical shape. These shapes are great to add depth and detail and just to change it up a little. Makes it more fantastic, meaning more fantasy-like. So I'm going to add a turret to the top of my tower on this side, and I just do that by making a triangular shape on the top. What's nice about pencil is if you make mistakes, they can erase, and you can even turn them into happy mistakes. Doesn't have to be perfect, and no two will ever be alike. So you can make diagonal lines, curvy lines, zigzag lines, all kinds of different things to just add detail to your picture. It's up to you. On the top of this other tower, I'm going to add what is called battlement. And battlement is found on lots of tops of castles, and there's like many reasons for it. I like the way it looks personally, but it's great for hiding and protecting during attacks back in the day. Additionally, it's really important to add depth. And then I'm going to add another window over here. Window, I should say, is really important for a good lookout point, especially at on a tall tower. And I'm going to add a shadowed look to it, like a crescent moon, so that it looks like it's giving the effect of depth, so it looks like it goes in. All right, so now that I have the crenellation on that side and the window, the battlements, the designs, I'm going to add another tower to the opposite side. I'm going to do it in kind of a cylindrical shape, just like I did that last one there, to make the building look rounded. I always think that those look really cool on castles. I'm going to add the turret to the top of this tower, and since this tower, it seems to be like a little bit longer for me, I'm taller, I'm going to use this one to add my flag to the top. Once I have my flag up there, I'm going to start adding a couple more details just to this tower by adding a lookout window. And I'll add some shading and shadow by creating a parallel line right there inside the window so it looks like it adds depth. I'm going to add another window to the top of this building, not to the top, but to this building as well, and do the same thing by parallel lining it and adding a little bit of depth. I can always go back and add color and shadow and shading and erase, which is why I always like to start off with a pencil. I'll add a smaller tower to the outside of this building and just add those crenellations, which are just like, it's kind of like just brickwork on the outside of the building. And I'm going to add depth to them by cubing them a little bit so that they look like they are not just little drawing. So it gives it some detail and some perspective. Adding this other building out here, I will add a nice tall window to the outside building. This could be the edge of a stable or anything else. I'm going to go over back to the other side, add another nice tall window, give it a little depth perception as well. And now obviously this is my building. I don't want it to look like it's just the front, so I'm going to add a back wall or a bridge. You can decide what you want to do. Do you want to bridge those two towers together, or do you want to make that a back wall? That's up to you. Again, add those crenellation to the back as well, which is more battlement. It's more design, brickwork on top of the building. And that makes it kind of close in behind there. So I'm not going to draw in front of the buildings, but you'll notice that my design looks like it goes in the back instead of in the front. I will then move down here to my front wall, and I want to add that crenellation to the front, which is the brickwork again to the front. The reason I want to do that is because I feel like it gives it like a good finish. That's a choice of mine. You do not have to do that. Again, no two castles are ever going to be built the same, so no two drawings have to be the same. But these are just some ideas that you can do. Give it depth, and then if you would like to, I think this is a great place for an entryway. I'm going to do an upside down U or an N that looks like kind of like a rainbow. Remember, we want to add depth, so we're going to parallel line just on one side, not on both. And I'm also going to start adding some details to the outside. I want to add some details to my door too to make it strengthened. I'm going to put a bronze cross through the middle and some nice big bolts holding it in place. I will then go back and I like to add detail as I think of things to add to my building. So I'm putting a little bit of grass on the ground and things like that. I am going to add a moat to my building, so I'm just kind of lining it up to where the grass doesn't go where the moat is going to go. Oh, I see that I forgot I had to add a rooftop, so I'm going to add a little turret to this building over here. All right, now I'm back. I want to start my moat by just creating like an upside down rainbow, so like just a curvy line that goes all the way around my castle. And I'm not going to line them up perfectly because I don't want parallel lines all the way, but it's going to be like looks like a crescent moon almost, sideways, upside down. And so it makes it kind of give it that depth again, that perception that it's not going away, but going behind the building. In addition to that, we need a way to get across. So I'm going to create a drawbridge or a cross bridge, and I need something to hold it up, that pull it up when it's time to have battles. And so I will add chains, and those chains are going to connect right down to the very bottom of where my bridge is going to be. You'll notice that I put the bridge diagonally because I remember I gave it depth, so you're looking at it from a different perspective. Now I'm going to add the boards across that bridge, and it's really important, I feel like, because, you know, a wooden bridge back in the day, perfect thing that we would need. I'm going to add some grass to the other side. And I'm thinking a roadway, so because this is a road traveled often, so I'll probably start to add some details for that. You can always put little waves, ripples in the water. Another thing that's really cool looking on a building is bricks. Do I have to do bricks all the way across my building? Absolutely not. I can do bricks here and there. I can do, you know, just a little, like, so it's just a visual of bricks. Maybe some mud. You can't see all the bricks, or you can do like bricks by using horizontal lines, and then just all your vertical lines do not line up. It makes it look like bricks all the way across. Now I'm going to do this all the way to the top of this particular building just so you can get the idea of how to do bricks consistently. These are also really good on the top of roofs for a house. They kind of look like roofing tiles. But anyways, bricks are basically just little rectangles that don't line up vertically. They line up only horizontally. I'm going to add some other detail to my picture. I'm thinking some clouds, some birds. I don't know. You can choose. You may want to put a sunshine. You may want no clouds in your sky. You might want to add like an alligator or sharks into your moat. That's up to you. I'm thinking more along the lines of alligator because this is a freshwater moat. Sharks live in salt water. So give him some spikes on his back. His head's just kind of sticking out of the water there. And they're just basically lines. These are things that everyone can do. I hope you enjoyed building a castle. See you next time. And remember, no two castles will be alike, and they don't have to be perfect.